We have more new releases to talk about today. We are trying out the Merit, the Uniform Tinted Sunscreen. We are also trying out the Haus Labs reformulated bronzer. I've never tried this bronzer before. We have one of the new shades in the Haus Lab blush. This is Glassy Ginger. I have a brand new Prada eyeshadow palette. It is not a new release, but it is new to me. And then I have 3 of the Westman Atelier lip liners. We're also going to play around with one of the new Dior blushes and one of the lip butters. I have all of this on my face right now. If you'd like to see how I got this look, see how everything came together, and hear my thoughts on these products. I did have some fails this time. Then let's get started. First things first, we are going in with the Merit Tinted Sunscreen. It has an SPF of 45. It is a mineral sunscreen. I have put this on one time before. I kind of have an idea what it's all about. I have the shade 28. This is that shade. It is quite thin and liquidy. I'm just going to put it on with my fingers because it is a tinted sunscreen. That just makes the most sense to me. 1 pump of product is quite a bit. This is not adequate sun protection, but it is quite a bit of product. Like, it's going to be enough to use as a skin tint. This does take a few minutes to blend into the skin. It's not something that immediately sinks in. It's quite streaky, initially as you're working with it, but it does blend out and smooth out. And I think that the streakiness is because obviously there's a lot of product. 1 pump of that was a lot of product to me. It's way more than a normal pump of foundation. But you need a lot for a sunscreen. And even all of that, you probably really need 2 pumps to get adequate sun protection. I am using this as my complexion product today, not my sunscreen. It takes just a second to kind of sink in and set down. It's a sunscreen. It's not really marketed as a skin tint or a foundation. I'm using it as a skin tint today because it does offer some coverage. Very, very little, but it does offer some. It's very sheer. I would call this a sheer skin tint. This is like a step above the Glossier skin tint, in my opinion. Only this one has SPF. You do get a lot of product in here. You get 1.7 ounces. So I think that this is enough to use as your sunscreen. It's quite flattering on the skin, slightly blurring, a little glowy, but it does set down. I'm going to go in with concealer just under my eyes, and it's going to be the Gucci concealer because this is just my favorite concealer. It is so good. I have this in the shade 21N. They have a really, really big shade range in the Gucci concealer. They're very inclusive. The brand, I think, is very inclusive. It's a concealer that I feel confident recommending because I do believe regardless of what shade you are, you're going to be able to find a skin tone match or something close enough. And this is not a full coverage concealer. It's I would say medium. But this concealer is excellent to use with skin tints and very, very light coverage products because you can't see it. It's so undetectable on the skin. It melts in with the skin and blends in. You can't see it sitting on the surface, at least on me, in my experience. It's so good. I love this concealer. We're just going to leave it there. This is a very sheer coverage look, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to set my face because I set my face before and then went in with a blush and it did not work out. We're going to go in with the Haus Labs Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm in the shade Glassy Ginger. Now, I just put this on my face 10 minutes ago, and I will say it does not look ginger. To me, it's pink. It's beautiful, but it's pink. This is the packaging. If you've never seen the Haus Labs packaging before on their blushes, this is the packaging. A little lipstick bullet. You don't get a ton of product in here. That's it. 0.18 ounces, so it's slightly larger than a normal lipstick. Now, I know from my first time trying this that it dissolved my makeup, so I'm going to go in with a brush on the end here and tap it on. See if that is better. It's not better. It did the same thing where it dissolved my foundation right here. And I went in very lightly with a very small amount. A few minutes ago, I put this on, I powdered my face, and then I went in with a blush and it did this. And so I thought it was because, I powdered my face and cream on top of the powder. So I wanted to try it just with the tinted sunscreen and then the blush. And it is doing the same thing. I hope that you can see that right there. It's just dissolved, you know, my complexion product. So like you can see the blush down here, but right up here, it's gone. I think this is why so many people steer away from cream blushes, because they tend to do this, right? Especially the super emollient one. This one is very emollient. It's a beautiful color. Look at that color. It's so pretty and very like emollient. So I don't know about that. I don't know. This is my second time trying it. I'm going to say that that's not for me because I hardly have any complexion product on, but it has completely dissolved it. I'm going to wipe this off, reapply the tinted sunscreen. I'm going to go in with a Dior blush. I'm just going to say that that blush is not the blush for me, but that is totally fine, right? Like different things for different people. My preferences for a cream blush might not be the same as yours. You know, for me, that's a no, but I know that lots of people love that product. So, you know, it could be a good one for you. For me, the way that I like to do my makeup, it doesn't work for me. Let's move on to the Haus Labs bronzer. So I picked up the shade Soleil Sand in the bronzer. This is the lightest shade. I've never used a Haus Labs bronzer, so I was super excited to give this a go. I did just have it on my face, you know, 30 minutes ago or so. But here is the packaging. It's so pretty. And then here is the product. So I have, you know, used this once before. It looks beautiful on the skin, but I will say it's a very heavy powder. Like even just touching it, you can feel it's very, very dense, very thick powder. It feels almost like a cream in the hands, similar to the Prada powders, but this is heavier. When I rub my finger around in here, I get a lot of like thick product on my hand. And then you rub it between your fingers, it feels like a cream. Really nice. Let me just reapply this. I'm not going to powder yet. It smooths out. It's very creamy, very pigmented. It's a beautiful, beautiful powder. It's a beautiful bronzer. Really, really nice. I like that. I'm going to lightly set my face with my Gold Skin Diamond Micro Powder. This powder makes everything look beautiful. I have used this with this skin tint just a little bit ago, and it made it look absolutely velvety, gorgeous. I know I have a whole video of my top 15 luxury products that I highly recommend and think are worth the money. And that is like at the top of the list. It's so good. Now my skin looks velvety, smooth. I am going to fill in my brows real quick with my Westman Atelier Balm Brow. We're going to do eyes first because I don't know which blush I want to use. I know it's not going to be the Haus Labs though. I can tell you that. I picked up another Prada eyeshadow palette. I have to have them all. There's one that like really intimidates me, and that's Profusion. That's the black and silver and yellow one. This one intimidates me too. I'm not going to lie. This is 05 Pure, and it is the blue color story. So this one is a little intimidating to me too, because that's a very vibrant blue. Like this is a navy or something you can easily incorporate into an everyday look. Like this is a look. It's going to be a look. But the other shades are just absolutely gorgeous. Like, you know, if you take this away, this is a really, really pretty eye look. So I think we can get something semi-wearable with like pop of blue. That is my goal. The thing that I've always said about Prada is like there's no thought required and no effort. You can just throw them on. Let's see if that holds true for this. I'm going in with this center shade right here. I love that they give you this center shade that's bigger in every palette and the center shade that looks like it would work the best as a transition shade or a lid shade, you know, the one that I feel like you're going to use the most. So I do like the layout of the Prada palettes. Let me just slap this in the crease. It's just so easy. I'm not being very precise or putting much thought into it. I'm just kind of swirling this around in the crease. Not even in the crease, like above the crease even. I am going to take this deepest red and brown shade, put it in the outer corner. That shade is very, very intense, very pigmented, but it's super easy to blend. This is the thing that scared me about this palette. The colors are so warm, so orangey warm. So I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go in with the blue, this very vibrant, like pool blue, and I'm going to put it right on top of the red. I don't know if I'm loving the super warm brown and the blue together, but we're going to go in with this gold and see if it brings it all together. I had to take a call and I forgot to record the very last step, which was putting on the gold. Let me just show you what I did because I did not record it. And you didn't miss much, but I did take the gold right here and tap it kind of all over 2/3 of my lid. Just so the blue is just kind of peeking out the corners. I ended up covering most of it up and just having it out here on the outer corner. And I think it looks a little better. I will make my final determination after I get eyeliner and mascara and everything on and see if we want to change anything. But right now I'm going to leave it there. I've also tight lined with my Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal. I am going to line my eyes with my Lisa Eldridge Kitten Flick eyeliner. I will be right back. So I have to say this is almost a situation where I wish that the pop of color in the palette were more intense because I think it would be better if it were more intense. And I mean, I built this up. I did try to build this up quite a bit on the outer corner, and it's just not as intense as I would like for it to be in order for this look to make sense to me. That's just me though. And, you know, I am only one person. My opinion is just my opinion. And I wish that it were a little more intense. I wish I could get more out of that blue because I think it would make this look make a little more sense on me. Let's put on mascara. That could all change. You know, mascara changes everything. You put on like eyeliner or mascara and all of a sudden almost every eye look looks fine. So I'm just going to speed through this so you don't have to see it, but I am going to use my Merit Great Lash and see what we can get out of this mascara. So I really like the Merit Great Lash. I think it's a really nice mascara. Not very many people talk about it. I don't think many people like it. I like it. It does a really nice job lifting my lashes and curling them and making them look more abundant than they actually are. I really like the Merit Great Lash, and it's open, so I figured I want to get my use out of it. For blush, I think we're going to go in with Toffee from Dior. It just seems like it is going to go with this look. So if not, we can do something else. But I'm just going to put Toffee on for now. Let's blend this out. My cheeks are glowy, glowy, glowy. We'll see if that sets down any. So I have 4 lip liners, but really probably you're only going to be interested in 3 of them. I picked up 3 of the Westman Atelier and then bought a Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat in Pillow Talk because it's been years since I've owned this. I wanted to put it against another new lip liner that I got was the Makeup Forever. So I guess that makes 5, actually 5 lip liners that I got. I have not tried those 2. But I feel like people are going to be most interested in the Westman Atelier because this is a new formula. I picked up Biscuit, Cuckoo, and Petal. So let's see how these lip liners, how they perform, really. The shade that I was most excited about was Biscuit. It just looks so pretty in lip liner form. The pencils are very sleek looking and very, very Westman Atelier, right? Like very clean, very minimalist. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. That is Biscuit. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Let's put it on. Oh, that's so pretty. So right off the bat, those are super pigmented, super creamy, like very easy to put on, like a lot. It lays down a lot of product. You don't have to go over it. In fact, if you go over it more, you get some buildup because they're so pigmented. They're so intense. That shade is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I will say these are expensive. They're $34 and you get 0.03 ounces. You get less product than a traditional lip liner. Like the Charlotte Tilbury is 0.04. The Makeup Forever is 0.04. This is 0.03. So you get, this is smaller than a typical lip pencil. That was so quick and easy. Let's get into Cuckoo. So Cuckoo is described as like a beigey pink. Wow. Okay, so that is Cuckoo. I'm shocked by how pigmented these are. They're so pigmented. Let me see. Should I fill in with this so you can see the color? So I kind of filled in my lips so you could see the color. Let's go in with Cuckoo and see how this looks on the lips. All right, there is Cuckoo on the lips. That's beautiful too. They're really, really pigmented, very creamy, very easy to use. It's just a super fast process, you know what I mean, to line your lips. And because it is quite a creamy formula, it just lays down the product so smoothly. I don't know how to explain it. I'm very impressed so far. We don't know how well they wear, but the application process is 10 out of 10 for me. The colors, 10 out of 10. And the last one that we have is Petal. Again, super intense, super pigmented, super creamy. All right, let's put on Petal. Okay, that is Petal on the lips. Gorgeous, easy to apply. No complaints. No complaints as of yet. Those are really pretty. I'm just going to top it with this Dior Lip Glow Butter in Toffee because Toffee is very like caramelly neutral. I don't need any color on my lips with what I've got going on my face. These are so comfortable. I really like these. They're getting blasted on Sephora. Everybody hates them because of the packaging and they feel like you don't get a lot of product. You do get a lot of product. It's just the packaging feels very lightweight. I think it's adorable. It feels more nourishing on my lips than the lip gloss. I understand people want a luxury experience along with their luxury price, and I totally understand that. Okay, so let's talk about these products. I have some thoughts. Oh, I want to see how these lip liners do. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Look, I didn't even realize I touched them, but they all just smeared. Let's see if they set down. Nope. Nope. They do not set down. Not at all. So they're dense, they're pigmented, they're not wiping off into nothing like the Merit ones. You know, they've got some structure there. They're not disappearing. That did not set down. I'm not loving that. I'm not loving that. That's quite disappointing because I really like the application, the color, and the formula, but it doesn't seem like it's going to have any longevity. So there's that. I'm swatching the Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut, and it's so much harder to swatch. These Westman Atelier lip liners are so creamy, which I don't know if that's a good thing. So let's look at these shades. This is Wherever Walnut by Makeup Forever. This is Biscuit by Westman Atelier. This is Cuckoo by Westman Atelier. And this is Petal by Westman Atelier. These Westman Atelier lip liners are so much more pigmented. I would say because they kind of smear and wipe away. They're like a lip liner lipstick hybrid. They're one of the most pigmented lip liners I've ever used. I'm talking you just barely lay it across your lips and it glides on. And it's an intense color. You know what I mean? But they don't set down. I'm going to see if the Makeup Forever sets down while we talk. We'll smear it at the end. For now, I want to touch on everything that we tried today and give you my thoughts so far. First, second impressions. Like some of these things are second impressions because I did have to wash my face and start over. We're going to start with the Minimalist by Merit. I wish that this were out when I did my skin tint video. Where I would rank this would be probably directly after Glossier in terms of coverage. Sheer plus, maybe on a good day, Sheer plus. Now, it is a tinted sunscreen, so you're meant to use a lot more than I used in the demo. So maybe if you were to use 2 pumps, which I believe would be the recommended dosage as a sunscreen, you could probably get more coverage, you know, especially if you layered it up. I'm totally happy with a sheer coverage product as long as I can put some of my other things on top of it, right? Like as long as I can put my concealer on, my bronzer, my blush. I don't need a full coverage foundation. I know I mentioned in my mature skin video that I like coverage. I do, but that doesn't mean like full coverage. What I meant by that is I like to put a complexion product on my face. I'm not skipping that step. I'm using a skin tint, tinted moisturizer, tinted sunscreen, something on my face, and concealer under my eyes. Pretty much every single day unless I'm not wearing makeup. This is really nice. I think that as a sunscreen, it's very well priced. You get a lot of product in here. You get 0.17 ounces, which makes sense for a sunscreen. You need more than an ounce if it's just a sunscreen, in my opinion. I will not use this as my sunscreen because of the amount that you have to use. I just feel like it's too much of a tint on my face. I like for my sunscreens to be sheer or clear or invisible on the skin because you have to use so much. And then I like to go in with a coverage product on top of that. So I would probably still use my regular sunscreen and then just put this over it and use this as my complexion product for the day. But can just use it as a sunscreen. The Haus Labs bronzer. This is a really nice bronzer. It looks really pretty on the skin. It's very pigmented. I love the shade. It's not too orange. It's a very like thick powder. you know, like if you rub it between your fingers, you can feel it. It's heavy. It's got some weight to it. It doesn't apply like that on the skin. It's just, I like to mention everything. I feel the textures of everything and, you know, kind of try to detect the differences in powders. This is like, it feels creamy like the Prada powders that I've mentioned, the Prada eyeshadows, the Prada Reset powder, the Prada highlights. It feels creamy like that, but heavier, like denser. When you rub it in your fingers, you can feel it. You know what I mean? It's very creamy. It feels like it almost melts into a cream. Like the powders are so dense and so packed together that it almost feels like a cream. But I could see it feeling a little bit heavy. It doesn't, but I can almost see, you know, that would be a concern that I would have, but I think it's not my favorite bronzer. It didn't really like blow my mind, but it's nice. And I think it's a reasonable price. And I think the packaging is gorgeous. The blush to me was an absolute fail. It dissolved my complexion products. It didn't play well with other makeup products. It's maybe like a little too thin, a little too slippy. I feel like cream blushes need to have a little bit of weight to them in order to be able to blend out and not like mix and make a paste with whatever is under it. And I didn't have much under it. So for it to have dissolved, that just kind of tells me this is not the product for me. It's a beautiful shade though. Really, really pretty. I know that a lot of people really like these. It didn't work for me. That doesn't mean that it won't work for you. Prada eyeshadow palette in Pure is really pretty. Like now that I have everything on my face, I like it a lot more. A lot of times when you're doing a look with a lot of color or something a little bit out of your comfort zone, it helps to have a black liner to kind of ground it, or something dark like an eyeliner to kind of ground it and frame the eyes. You know, now that I've got eyeliner on and blush and lipstick, I actually really like the look. It's not my favorite Prada eyeshadow palette. Color Story is not my favorite. My other ones are so much more wearable than this one. So I don't see myself reaching for this one a lot, although it's really pretty. Kind of giving me like Cleopatra vibes, you know what I mean? Not that I look like Cleopatra, but I'm just talking about the gold and the blue and the red. You know, it's like Cleopatra vibes. Performs beautifully like all Prada eyeshadow palettes. Anytime that I don't like a Prada eyeshadow palette, it's going to be Color Story only, period. The formula itself is my absolute favorite, and I hope that they release more. I'm sure that they will, but I hope they release more soon because I absolutely love them. The Westman Atelier lip liners. I'm so super blown away, impressed by the formula and the colors. These are so much better in person than they looked online. The colors, like they've got a lot of depth to them. I think they'll work for a lot of people. They're an excellent like sculpting shade to really define that lip border. The only issue that I have with them is going to be durability and the longevity. Let's just see how the Makeup Forever fares. Okay. So it doesn't set either. None of them really set down. So I wouldn't say that this is a super long wear lip liner. However, I believe the pigment level will help with longevity. The Merit lip liner, since those are so sheer and so slippy, those just kind of wiped away and disappeared into nothing. These, since they're so pigmented, I feel like they'll last a little bit better on the lips. That's my guess. We'll see. I'm going to wear this and see how long it lasts. I think that the colors are gorgeous. I think that the price is high for what you get. There's no denying that the colors and the texture are something special, in my opinion. That wraps up this video of me trying some new releases. I hope that it was in some way helpful. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Please give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would love to have you here. I will see you soon in my next video. And until then, take care of yourselves. Bye.